Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're wading into some tricky waters. Sarcasm.
hmm
We've looked at some really interesting material on, you know, how it works, how to use it well.
And crucially, how to read it when someone uses it on you.
Exactly. So the mission really is to give you a better handle on all those nuances.
Right. We want you to feel, well, more confident using it, knowing the different types, and maybe avoiding those awkward moments.
Those, wait, was that mean moments?
Yeah.
Yeah. Decoding the hidden meaning, basically, and not accidentally offending people.
Precisely.
Okay, so first thing, sarcasm isn't just sarcasm, is it? The sources we looked at talk about it being more like a spectrum.
Yeah, exactly. Think of it like a range. At one end, you've got teasing, playful stuff.
Like what? Give us an example.
Okay, so your coworker says they're grabbing a quick lunch, vanishes for like an hour and a half.
Oh, I know this one.
Right. And you say, nice quick lunch break. The tone, maybe a little smile. It shows it's, friendly, poking fun. Got it. Okay, that's teasing. Then there's self-deprecating sarcasm. I kind of like this one.
Yeah, it's turning the humor on yourself. Like saying, of course I remembered your birthday.
That no one ever.
Yeah, exactly that. It shows you don't take yourself too seriously.
Yeah.
Can actually make people feel more comfortable sometimes.
Right, lowers the tension. But it can get sharper, can't it? There's biting sarcasm, too.
Oh, definitely. This is where it gets more critical, more pointed.
So like,
Imagine you've asked someone for help, maybe several times, and they just ignore you.
ooh. Yeah.
And finally, you just mutter, wow, you're so helpful. The words are positive, but the feeling behind them is clearly negative, annoyed.
Yeah, the intention just flips the meaning completely.
Yeah.
It's subtle. The material we saw even mentioned doing a kind of mental diagnostic test.
Like listening to different examples in your head and trying to place them on that spectrum.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Cheesing, self-deprecating, biting. It really makes you aware of how fine the lines can be. It does.
Yeah.
And that leads right into the next big question. Okay, when should you actually use it? Because it's definitely not always appropriate.
Oh, for sure. So the sources talk about three safety checks, things to think about before you say something sarcastic. First one is relationship. Seems kind of obvious.
It is, but it's crucial. It's all about the rapport you already have. Do you grab coffee together sometimes, or is it strictly conference calls?
Right. Shared coffee versus just conference calls. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. If there's that informal connection, that bit of shared understanding,
Yeah.
you're probably safer. If it's purely formal, task-based, maybe hold back. There's just less trust built up.
Makes total sense. You need that context. Okay, check number 2, delivery. This is the nonverbal stuff, right?
Exactly. It's not just the words, how you say it, your face, your body language.
Mm.
It all plays a huge part.
So what's the key tip here?
The advice was smile with eyes, not just mouth. A real smile, a Duchenne smile that reaches your eyes, that softens it. A fake smile can just look, well, sarcastic in a bad way.
Yeah.
Mocking.
Gotcha. Smile at the eyes. And the third check, escape plan. I like the sound of this one.
Yeah. It means basically have a backup. What if your sarcasm just bombs?
Balls completely flat, or worse, offends someone.
Exactly. Can you quickly switch back to being sincere? Can you say, oh, wait, sorry, I didn't mean it like that, and make it believable? You need an out.
Have you seen that go wrong when someone didn't have an escape plan?
Oh, definitely. It can get incredibly awkward fast.
Yikes. Okay. And the sources also warned about specific topics, didn't they? Like red flags.
Yes, big ones. Generally avoid sarcasm about someone's actual work performance, their appearance, or major life choices.
Yeah, those feel like minefields.
They really are.
Yeah.
The risk of causing genuine hurt is just too high, even if you think you're being funny.
Okay, so we know the types, we know when to pause, but how do we actually do it well? Let's hit the vocal gym.
Right. Time to work on the delivery mechanics. First up, pitch.
The ups and downs in our voice. How does that work for sarcasm? Is it always like super exaggerated?
Not necessarily exaggerated, but often different from your normal tone. Frequently, it involves a kind of mid-tone drop. Think about saying, oh, really?
Right, like dropping down a bit. Oh, really? Yeah, I hear it. It signals skepticism, not real surprise.
Exactly. That little downward slide carries the sarcastic meaning.
Okay, pitch. What about pace? Speed.
Generally, a slightly slower pace than your normal speech can help land sarcasm.
Why is that?
It just gives the listener a fraction of a second longer to notice the gap between the words you're saying and what you actually mean. Lets the irony sink in.
Okay, slow it down a touch. And then there's face, not just the eye smile thing.
Right, other facial cues too. But subtly is often key. The material mentioned a kind of progression. One eyebrow smirk, full eye roll.
Uh-huh. Choose your weapon wisely.
Pretty much. A raised eyebrow is a hint. A smirk is maybe playful. A full eye roll.
Mm.
Well, that's pretty direct, often dismissive.
So pitch, pace, face.
Mhm.
Got it. And there was an exercise suggestion too, right? Using perfect timing.
Yeah, it's a great example of how delivery changes everything. You could say perfect timing and mean it genuinely.
Like, someone arrives just when needed. Ah, perfect timing. Sincere.
Right. Then you can draw it out, maybe drop the pitch a bit. Perfect timing.
When they're super late, I've been waiting ages.
Exactly. Or maybe say it really flat, deadpan, maybe with a sigh, when their arrival makes things worse.
Oh, great. Perfect timing. Meaning, you've just caused a disaster.
Precisely. Same words, totally different messages, all down to delivery.
It's amazing. But, oh, what works here might not work everywhere. Which brings us to the cultural minefields. This feels important.
Hugely important. Sarcasm does not travel well sometimes. What's funny, banter in one place can be confusing or rude in another.
Okay, so what are the big differences? The sources mentioned Americans.
Right. Tendency is use it more with friends, people you know well. Be more cautious with strangers. Less likely to use it in, say, a first business meeting.
Yeah, that feels right. Need that established relationship first. But the British, different story.
Oh, yes. Often described as sarcasm being almost the default setting.
Uh-huh. The example of, that's a choice, is a cutting remark, so understated.
It really is. It's that dry, indirect wit. And that anecdote about the landlord in London.
During a hurricane.
Someone says, lovely weather. And the landlord, without looking up, just deadpans. Absolutely glorious. It shows how ingrained it can be.
It's like a whole different language sometimes. But then Germany.
Generally a preference for more directness. Sarcasm, with its hidden meaning, can just be confusing. Not necessarily seen as funny. Might just be taken literally.
Which leads to the shame file example. This one made me laugh, but also cringe.
What about the German boss?
Yeah. Telling the boss, great job, after a project totally failed.
And the boss just says, thank you. Takes it completely the sarcasm just whoosh right over the head.
Oh, dear. It really shows you need to be aware of the cultural context, doesn't it?
Absolutely critical.
Okay, but even if you are culturally aware, sometimes it just goes wrong. Your joke doesn't land. What's in the recovery toolkit?
Need some strategies, definitely. First one, clarify fast.
Just own up, like, whoops, sorry.
Yeah, pretty much. Don't let the awkwardness hang there. Jump in with something like, wait, no, I actually mean that. Or, sorry, that came out wrong. Just be direct about the misfire.
Okay, quick clarification. Then there was something about blame language. That sounds bad.
No, it's not about blaming the other person. It's more about finding a plausible reason for the miscommunication that isn't, you didn't get my brilliant joke.
Okay. Like what?
Like maybe saying, oh, sorry, tone doesn't always translate well, does it? Or even, it's applicable, must be my second language interference, something that takes the pressure off them.
That's quite smooth, actually. Okay, what else? The pivot.
Yeah, just shifting gears.
Yeah.
If the sarcasm failed, pivot to sincerity. Use a bridging phrase like, but seriously, though. Or, okay, kidding aside, it signals you're moving back to straightforward talk.
Right, clear signal. And the pro tip, having a sarcasm buddy.
Yeah, someone who gets your sense of humor and your style.
Like a wingman for witty remarks.
Kind of. Someone who can give you a subtle nod or maybe a slight kick under the table if you're going too far or if people aren't getting it. Your early warning system. Have you ever had one?
Maybe informally. Someone who gives you that look. Okay, this has been super helpful. Let's try and wrap this up. Sarcasm. It's complicated.
Definitely. It's nuanced. Context is everything. Culture plays a massive role.
And using it well means thinking about the relationship, nailing the delivery.
And having that escape plan ready just in case.
Right. So, for your homework.
We have a couple of suggestions. First, maybe watch a UK sitcom and then a US one. Pay attention to the sarcasm, how it's used, how people react. You'll likely spot some differences.
Good exercise. And maybe try just one safe sarcastic comment with a colleague you know well.
Yeah, someone you have good rapport with. See how it lands. Test the waters gently.
Okay, and next time on the deep dive.
We're shifting gears completely, moving into advanced presentation storytelling for professionals.
Ooh, interesting. How to use narrative to make your presentation stick.
Exactly, how to craft stories that engage and persuade.
Creeping forward to that. Until then, our final thought on sarcasm. Speak like you've got a secret, not a grudge.
Nicely put. Oh, and P.S., if you want that list of 5 universally safe sarcastic phrases we mentioned.
Right. DM us at English Unlocked on, wherever you find us. Use the hashtag #TonePolice.
We'll send them over.
So why did this deep dive work, you think?
Well, I think hitting that C2 level nuance is key. It's not just basic communication. And mixing the theory with practical stuff like the vocal gym.
And the cultural bits, plus understanding tone, which we just talked so much about, is vital for presentations too.
Absolutely. It all connects. So next options for you listeners, definitely the advanced presentations deep dive coming up.
And check out our existing stuff on C2 Persuasion Influencing Without Authority too. It ties in nicely.
Great talking sarcasm.
You too. See you next time.